to Boxing Media Hub, sponsored by Falcon Contracting and boxbets.co.uk. And with me now, I've got a special guest. I've got Suli Abbar. How you doing, Suli?
I'm good. Thank you for having me.
Honestly, absolute pleasure. It's a big time in boxing at the moment. We'll get into what Saudi Arabia are doing, but we'll have a chat about what Suli's doing at the moment. Off to a cracking start. Great win in December, followed by a great win in January. We're off to a flyer.
Yeah, I mean, it's a pleasure to be on your show, firstly, and I moved over to Dubai in September because I thought that, well, I mean, when you move to Dubai, there's different versions of Dubai. For me, I work and I train. And those are the only two things that are on my mind when I'm out there. I'm not thinking about anything other than training and working. And as you said, right now Saudi Arabia is they're doing a lot in sport in general, but specifically boxing. And I mean, I'm happy to get those 2 wins. I'm fighting in about a month and a bit, the 19th of April. So looking to make it 3-3.
I'm sure it won't be a problem. The way you've started, there's not many people that can say they've got, the best start to a record of 2 fights, 2 wins, 2 knockouts. That's the dream start, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it's great, but I mean, it's important to recognize that if it wasn't for my coaches who, have helped me so much, they really believed in me. At the end of the day, I mean, I don't have a very extensive amateur career. So for people to actually believe in me, to get, I owe my success. I truly owe my success to them.
Yeah. Well, 100%. It's all about, I know you go in the ring and you do your thing, but it's about the team. It's about your strategy. It's about your training. It's the whole package, isn't it? You've got to have everything in the right place to deliver success.
Yeah, most definitely. Look, I mean, it's a team effort. I have to, at the end of the day, I can't just go in there and do what I want. I mean, there's always a plan. There's always a strategy that I have to execute. And, my coach won't tolerate me just doing my own thing. And I'm happy that he's so, he's so invested in my career. Because at the end of the day, boxing's about experience, and, people who have been there, who have done it, are more worthy of, giving you lessons. Because the thing is, in boxing, everyone can have an opinion. It seems that now we live in a world where everyone has something to say, but they can't really back it up, or they haven't really paid their dues to reach a point where they can, give advice. Everyone is entitled to an opinion, but I mean, I personally would only listen to the opinions of those who have been there, who have done it. And I think that's important. It's important.
Especially, I think, in boxing, everyone. I remember going to the pub not long ago, and everyone sat around the telly in there. Well, sat around the telly. They're all going for it around the telly, and then everyone becomes a boxing expert as soon as it switches on, and it could be the first fight they've ever seen. But they know what's going on. They know what shots to throw, how that guy's feeling, even though they've never laced up a pair of gloves.
Yeah, it's the nature of the game. And like, the sad part is, people who, have never boxed, as you said, will have a lot of negativity towards people who are actually even world champions. For example, Earl Spence. At one point, people thought he was a boogeyman. He loses one fight, and now everybody writes him off. They think he should retire. And I know he had a bad car crash, but this is someone who, you can imagine him listening to people saying you should retire, who have never been in a boxing ring before.
Yeah.
So, at the end of the day, you have to have a strong mentality in boxing, because, many people will have a negative opinion on you, even if you're doing well for yourself.
I think this is the thing. I think this is the thing in general, isn't it? As I say, not just boxing. I think people in life just feel they've got to put their 10 pence in, and actually they don't. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
damaging.
most certainly. I mean, cowards rejoice when brave men fall. Okay, and this is something I'm aware of, and I don't care what level, world champion. If anyone's getting into a boxing ring, you have a chance of breaking your bones, and sometimes even death can happen. We've seen it happen in the ring.
Yeah.
So I think boxers are entitled to a lot of respect. Fighters in general, athletes in general, because it's so hard, to stay consistent
Hmm.
to to a regiment every day, day in day out. It's very difficult. So I take my hat off to anyone who actually goes into a boxing ring to fight or compete or even do it for fun. It's a tough sport.
Yeah, no, 100%. Wise words, wise words. And yeah, you are, as I say, the next step is what, April, you were saying, for you, hopefully?
Yeah, yeah. So my manager called me the other day and asked me if I want to fight on the 19th of April. There's a show happening in Dubai. I think it's called Crypto Fight Night. So I'm keen. I'll have it. I want to fight 3 4 times. Hopefully, that's my goal before August, if I can. You see, once you're in a rhythm,
Hmm.
the hardest thing to do when you're out of rhythm is to start again. So now I'm in a
Yeah,
rhythm. I recently fought the other month. I'm training. My weight is good, so why not carry it on? I'm willing to fight and be an active fighter.
yeah, yeah. And as we've seen with, whether you're just starting out or people at the top of the game, we've seen it recently with even like the likes of people like Joshua, who've been
Yeah.
more active recently. Joseph Parker, a good example. He was out quite a few times last year, and that's shown, the progress that
So
comes. So
yeah, no, for sure. I mean, I think one of the reasons why fighters are not as active as they were back in the heyday of boxing is because everyone wants to remain undefeated now. And when you're fighting once or twice a year, you can kind of control that. You fight the right people. But I feel slowly people aren't caring as much about that. Because many of the best fighters in the world today have lost more than once. The Canelo, one of the best fighters in the world, he's lost twice. Maybe the Floyd loss doesn't count because that's Floyd, but
Floyd,
but
that's a write-off.
yeah, so it might not count. But no, on a
But he
serious,
was young as well, wasn't he? He went into that fight young.
yeah,
To take that fight
yeah,
was pretty amazing. But look what he's done since. That's
yeah,
testament to him.
yeah. Some of the best lessons you learn come from loss. All um, le- pain and suffering you can channel it. You can channel it into success if you figure out what went wrong and you work hard. And that's what Canelo did. After the Floyd fight, I think him and his team probably sat in a dark room and decided or planned out what the next steps would be for them, and they've done very well.
Yeah.
So more people, these fighters, as you're saying, are more active now because they don't care about losing as much. Like in the UFC, you can lose and no one's gonna boycott you. You know,
Well, this is it. This is what we kind of. I think they have taken a bit of a page out, and that's why I talk about Saudi Arabia crashing onto the scene now. I say crashing on, but coming in with a big way now. And now we're seeing the fights, really, aren't we? That we've been desperate to see, and they've gone. His Excellency's turned around and said, "I want to see this," and it happens because the money's available, the stage is set, and people all of a sudden are happy to work together. Do
no,
you know what I mean? And
yeah,
now, like as we say, Bivol and Beterbiev, what a fight we're going to see in that one. Usyk and Fury, Joshua and Garnu, really like interesting.
yeah. Look, they've done an amazing job. If someone were to tell me what's happening today, what happened if someone told me this 5 years ago, I wouldn't believe it. You know what I mean? they've really, really done an outstanding job. Um, I haven't. I'm yet to attend one of these big shows that they have in Saudi, just because I've been, between the UK and Dubai working so much, and that's where my gym is. But from the things that I've been hearing,
Hmm.
just watching it on TV, I mean, the management, everything has been just done so perfectly. And you're right, they're making these fights happen. I mean, it's so nice to be able to see a fight like Beterbiev and Bivol, before, because Beterbiev, he's not getting any younger. He's like 38, 39, if I'm not mistaken. But obviously his unique selling point is his power, and that's the last thing that leaves you. So it's going to be an amazing fight.
Yeah, and I'm going to chuck it at you, Suli. Who have you got in that one? Because that is, and I've probably given you the hardest fight because everyone seems to change their mind every week on this one. You've got two guys that are just incredible, aren't they?
Yeah, they're both extraordinary fighters. I remember, so I'm a very big Canelo fan. So when I was watching, when he announced that he was fighting Bivol, it really pissed me off. I didn't want to see that fight. Yeah, because I know Canelo doesn't like to be in the ring with movers, and he did well against Kovalev,
Yeah,
but I don't think he was winning many rounds until he got knocked out. Um, Kovalev isn't necessarily a mover, but like you have guys like Amir Khan. When he fought Khan, Khan was winning many rounds before he got knocked out. And we saw the same with Erzlandi Lara. Then you got a guy, Dmitry Bivol, Soviet style, big. I mean, he understands range so well. He's in and he's out, and he's young, so he's an awesome fighter. But then you have Beterbiev, right? And this guy is a devout Muslim, so he's not out partying, he's not drinking, he's not with girls all day. He's training and he's perfecting his craft, and he just has crazy power. He has
yeah,
incredible power. Uh, Thing is with him, he can get hit. He's been put down. Um, who do I think will win? Look, I like Better BF, but my, my
You've
heart
sold
wants.
the fight now, Suli. You've
Yeah,
sold the fight to the
yeah,
people at
yeah,
home.
my heart wants Better BF to win, but I think Bivol does the job
Okay.
by points.
Yeah,
He'll.
I can't see a stoppage. I just can't see these two animals coming together, and I personally can't see a stoppage. Not to say there won't be, there probably will be now, but
Yeah,
it's just like that sort of Godzilla Kong scenario where
yeah,
you don't get it that often. And I'm just so glad, like you as a boxing fan, we're gonna get to see something like that. It's
yeah.
incredible.
Who do you think wins? Put you on the
Oh,
spot
see, you
right
can't do that to me.
now. I'll do that to the
You know what? I thought Bivol, like initially,
Okay.
Bivol was my choice initially, and then I saw Beterbiev in his last performance, and I thought, how is this guy seem to be getting better?
Yeah.
It's frightening. So I'm swaying more towards him, but I don't know. It's, as you say, it's the age factor. People can grow old overnight. We've seen it before in other fights, but he's not your typical 39-year-old. Let's be perfectly honest.
Say.
He, as you say, devout Muslim. He is training. That's all he does.
Yeah.
He's in camp 100% all the time, and I just think that's what makes him more interesting. It's like Zhang as well, another perfect example. He's just a guy that seems to be on this track at the moment, and no one seems to be able to, stop him.
He's that Chinese guy, right?
Yeah, yeah, just different breeds, aren't they?
He's got that grandpa power.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, I know these some guys age, get better with age, and some the opposite. Even if you look fighters from our past, uh, Lennox Lewis,
yeah,
was good when he was old. He got better. Mike Tyson, the opposite. He peaked in the late, in the late 80s when he was destroying everyone. Obviously, what he was doing outside the ring didn't
Foreman,
help.
George Foreman
Foreman
was
too.
incredible.
Yeah, Foreman too.
It's scary, isn't it? You can't script it, can you, with fighters anymore? They come in when they're going to come in. Some people are coming to boxing really late now,
Yeah.
and they're just doing it. So that's what's exciting. We're in a great time for boxing, aren't we?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think now we'll start seeing the fights that, the fights that the fans actually want will be delivered. And obviously, money is going to play a big part because these guys want to get paid. And look, at the end of the day, it's their livelihood, right? I'll never have a go at someone for wanting to make as much money as possible. Uh,
Yeah,
I guess, someone like Tyson Fury is on his money grab tour. AJ as well, fighting in Ghana. They're on a money grab tour, and they deserve it. I mean, they've paid their dues. Tyson Fury got paid 25,000 for fighting Steve Cunningham. And got and he got put down. Unfortunately, I'm a Fury fan. So now how long do you have in this game?
exactly.
2 more years. So what they're doing now is for their children and their grandkids, and yeah, look, good for them.
Yeah, no, 100%. Yeah. Well, as I say, great times ahead. One question I will ask you: do you think we will see Canelo in Saudi Arabia?
Ooh, I mean, I'd love to see Canelo in Saudi Arabia. I'd love to box in his undercard as well.
I bet you would. That's the one guy you've spoken about for the most of this interview. He is obviously your guy.
Yeah, just because like in boxing, you should never emulate someone. You should always try to be yourself. But someone like Canelo does everything right. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? He has head movement. He's fundamentally sound. He understands range. Um, Look, will I see him in Saudi? I don't think so because I think he has a deal with PBC or someone. I'd love to see him in Saudi. Maybe him against Benavides one day. That's a fight big enough to be in Saudi. That's a fight that they would probably want to have there. They would. I hear he wants to fight Charlo now, right? From what I've been reading, Charlo's
Yeah,
brother.
yeah, yeah.
He'll
Yeah.
fight the mother next. He wants to go for the whole family. Yeah.
He's
Um,
just going to wipe the family out, and then
yeah,
we'll go for the
yeah.
proper fight in Benavides.
Exactly. So he'll take Charlo's brother out and take out the mom, and then you can find the dad somewhere. Then maybe if he fights Benavides, that could be in Saudi. That could realistically be in Saudi.
Well, there you have it.
Yeah.
Suli thinks Canelo's going to go through the entire family of Charlos and then get the fight that we actually want. But honestly, Suli, I really appreciate your time. And do you know what? I wish you all the best with your career. Keep us posted with your fights as well. I know you're on your social platforms as well, so people get behind Suli on his social medias and show him your support because this guy's going places and we get to see it from the start. So,
Thank you. You're too kind. Thank you so much.
honestly, I only say it to people that I know have got the drive, the dedication, and you can see how much of a fan of boxing you are, let alone what you do yourself. So, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you, Joel. Thank you. Have a good evening.
Take care. Thank you.
Thank you.